It's the Bacon Butty. We're in the wonderful Brasco Lounge, which does Craig Hannan's favourite orange juice in the whole world. Look, you've had half of it already.
It's like a bucket, isn't it?
It's unbelievable though, isn't it? How fresh it is. They pour it all there. Food's excellent as well. We're going to tuck in and we're going to talk about the Euros. I mean, that England game. I've been honestly all over the place with England in my life, but this tournament very much so. So we started, I'd say, on the positive side without being like, you know, massively kind of like, you know, all in, but on the side of it, you rather they won than the sort of the didn't. And then all the Trent stuff happened and he got dropped and I decided I wanted him to go out. The Slovenia game, was it? Or Slovakia, who did they play where Bellingham scored that last minute winner? One of them. Yeah. I was like, I was desperate because he was so poor. I was desperate with him to go out and I was fuming when Bellingham scored. And then the Switzerland game, I was sort of like a bit more on the fence. And then as soon as Trent come on, I wanted them to win. And then that penalty, I barely wanted the penalty to go in more than my life when he stepped up. I felt sick watching it. My little boy loves Trent, so he's like bouncing up and down, going, come on, you know what I mean? He's got his shirts up like that. And like, I was so nervous watching it, and I made up for him, and you can see how much it meant to him as well. It's a great celebration. I love it. Grab the ball and volley it. It's a good one, and he's enjoying it, and it was a boss moment for him. I don't know how you were watching it, but like,
he's playing it cool. By the way, in the office all last week, you had St George's face paint, chainmail, and the full kit underneath. So
absolutely not.
Don't listen to him. Do you know what? Actually, I when Trent stepped up, I was exactly the same. I said to my dad afterwards, and he agreed. It was one of those where I wanted England to go out until I saw that it was Trent hitting the fifth penalty. I actually thought it was very interesting that they had Trent hitting the fifth, and that, like, was it one of those where Southgate knows he's a good penalty taker, so he's good to have in the fifth, but also if he misses, the stories about him and not Southgate. And maybe that's me just being a bit sort of pessimistic about it, but you're right. When he was stepping up, I was like, just fucking score this lad, because he's had a tough tournament, and not just in, I don't necessarily mean in terms of his performances. I think he was scapegoated a little bit. You know, you can see when he's brought out of the side that it's been a systemic problem rather than one player in the middle of midfield not running enough. And so yeah, I was just made up he got it, and you see the reaction from his two brothers as well.
Oh, it was lovely, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was really, really nice. Yeah. And just in general, the celebration was class, wasn't it? Like when he was just like you say, kicking the ball, but like just screaming. It was just pure relief. But did you see the interview with him afterwards, where they asked him about it, and he was like, well, you know, that's how I practice it. I put it in that corner. I've been practicing to put it in that corner. I knew what I was going to do from the minute I stepped up. You know, it was almost like he didn't have nerves. He was calm and he was ready.
Well, that's why you practice. So when the pressure's on, you fall back on your technique. And obviously, technically, he's a wonderful footballer. But you fall back on, no, this is what I do.
Yeah, and he's hit a penalty in one of the cup finals.
A couple, a
couple. Scored them both. Brilliant penalty. I saw it's the second fastest strike in the Euros so far. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So
that's adrenaline.
Yeah.
I reckon he might have practiced it, but he hits it a bit harder than he doesn't change.
The first was whenever he kicked it into the stands afterwards. But no, it's generally made up for Trent. Would like Holland to win the next game.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting one now, isn't it? We've had a couple of all Liverpool ties in the Copa America. There was Uruguay beat Brazil, where Uruguay won on penalties. Darwin, I think, must have been on the fifth because they won 4-2 and he didn't take one. So I assume Darwin was on the fifth penalty, but Brazil missed a couple, and so it didn't get that far. So obviously Alisson goes out, he goes home. Hopefully see him on the tour. You know, if not, maybe missing the first game, then sort of joining, you know, after that, which is good news for the people out, you know, in America who are going to sort of watch that, and obviously good news for the manager as well. But Darwin goes through, but then now he's up against Colombia and Luis Diaz in the second semi-final. So that's quite an interesting one. And then the winner will, you'd assume, play Argentina against Canada, who've done well, but you know, you'd expect sort of Argentina to go through that. So Darwin Núñez might end up playing against Alisson, Luis Diaz, and then Alexis McAllister in the final, which is quite an interesting one. But
killing them off one by one.
But this semi England-Holland's going to be an interesting one, because Holland they're not an amazing team, but they'll be the best team that England have faced so far, and that'll be the real challenge. I thought the discourse around the game at the weekend's been quite interesting and funny, really. Like a half time, like Rio Ferdinand going mad about how well you were playing, and you're just like, honestly, what are you on? Do you know what I mean? But then also afterwards, it's been talked about like it's been part of this big grand plan, and this is sort of Southgate's way. And I'm just like, when you're relying on last minute overhead kicks in, you know, against to draw with Slovakia, I'm pretty sure it was Slovakia, like. That's like, you know, that this isn't tactics, do you know what I mean? This isn't sort of like this brilliant cup side, you know, it's luck. And, you know, I saw Cava from Sky Sports, who I like as a person, you know, was saying, oh, you know, it's not about, if you want entertainment, go to the cinema and stuff like that, like, this is like not how football. And I'm like, it's not even, for me, it's not even about entertainment. If you were playing like boring Route 1 football but creating chances, I'd be like, oh, fair play. There's more than one way to play, but winning, like, playing badly and winning is fine for a while, but something needs to change. So you either start playing better or you get beat. Yeah. They're the two things. And listen, they might say, okay, well, there's only 2 games left, so maybe we'll ride our luck all the way. And listen, that might happen, but eventually it reverts to mean. So you either need to start playing better or you lose, because England's first shot on target against Slovakia was the overhead kick. England's first shot on target against Switzerland was Saka in the 75th minute, so really late again. And you're like, they do need to do something better or they're going to lose. And so you can say, oh, you want, oh, it's all about getting through, but like, you know, football doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? At some point, you know, so maybe, I'm not saying that that they can't be Holland, but they need to play a lot better, because Holland, although not perfect themselves, are by a distance the best team that England will have played so far. And then fucking hell, if they get through and have to play against Spain or France, then really all the best, you know what I mean? And so I'm not having this thing where it's like, oh, it's just, this is how Southgate does it and stuff like that. They've been lucky, and that's fine, do you know what I mean? Like, football clubs, football teams have always had, you know, there's always a bit of luck, you know, involved in everything. But at some point you need to play well, and it needs to be Wednesday.